Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EOWL coach's office, right? We're not sure the name yet, but we think it's coach's office. We want to just run down some past results from last week, week one, and maybe talk about what some big matches are coming up.
Can we talk about something first?
We sure can.
In an earlier segment, how far away did I get from the camera?
At one point, you were all the way back against the wall.
I was like way back here.
Yeah. And I think I leaned forward, so it looked ridiculous.
There's a lot of room back here.
There
a lot
is,
of room
there
for
is.
activities.
I thought about grabbing the chair and pulling it, but it would have looked ridiculous on camera. And then I realized it's just a couple of wrestling coaches, so it really doesn't matter.
Nobody's watching.
No one's watching. The only people that are watching this are the staff at Canfield.
My dad checked it out.
Did he?
Yeah.
Big Steve.
Yeah.
Can we get him on as a
could.
as a
Let's
host?
see what I can do.
No, I mean, like, it would be cool to have, hey, here's my son who wrestled his entire life and now is a coach.
I was kidding. We are not getting my dad on this.
Okay, all right. I would do it. Okay.
Can we get your dad on?
Probably the same percentage of your dad coming
Okay.
on. I don't know. Okay, anyway, we want to talk about results.
Yes.
I want to talk first about West Branch goes 9-0, 8-0. Don't have a list of the teams yet. I don't really know who was there. I don't know how competitive it was. I don't know how many forfeits there were, but I know they came out undefeated.
Right.
And I think in our sport, if you can come out undefeated in the tournament with 8 or 9 duels, that says something about maybe just how good your numbers are, how deep your team is. So I think that's big for West Branch.
Yeah, they had a nice showing at Cambridge a week earlier, and they beat Southeast, who I know is a little down on numbers this year, but they beat them, and then obviously had the showing at Cambridge and that. So
yeah, it's a
nice
good start. Yeah, a good start to the beginning of the year, and I think they're certainly on the radar. Not that they shouldn't always be. West Branch has always been one of those places that I've been a little bit jealous of because of their following.
Yeah.
Their fans, there's just green everywhere. And it's a shame that, that we got away from dueling West Branch, because I think Canfield West Branch would just be a great duel, a great gate. We'd have a lot of fans. I think you could do the middle school and the youth. I think it would be a nice night for wrestling. So love to see that start again. So that's, I guess, a message to both coaches. See if you can get that worked out for next year. I think the fans deserve it.
Yeah.
The fans deserve it. So go ahead.
Then I went to, there were obviously a lot of other events last week, but we got some, we were just giving you with what people gave us. The West Branch people told us about that and saw results online. And then I went to the Beaver Local Louisville Fitch Try. I posted some interviews on our Twitter at EOWL Spotlight.
Yeah.
Of Coach John Bird, Coach Williams from Beaver, Logan Krulik. Obviously, we talked about him earlier. Had a nice win over Jax Leonard, and then Mike Fareed, just another tremendous kid, state qualifier.
Good kid.
So those were on there, and we're going to try to, one or two of us or both of us, each week try to get out to some league duels. This week, the duel I'm aiming to get to, I can't guarantee it, would be West Branch Alliance. It's on Thursday.
Yeah.
So I'm shooting for that. So hopefully I can get out there. But to give a rundown of this try, Fitch, Beaver Local beat Fitch, and it was 35-33. Tough match. I know Fitch had a couple issues with weight and guys making weight and those sorts of things. But I'll tell you what, Beaver in both their duels, we talked about it earlier. They're young, they're hungry, they're competitive. Their freshmen are coming out and really giving, tough upperclassmen and state placers and those sorts of things trouble. And it's one thing I wanted to bring up to you. Obviously, you've had some success here in the last few years. You've had 3 freshman state placers in the last handful of years with Giorgio, David, and then Anthony DeLisio.
Okay, yeah, I guess we did.
So looking at that, how do you get a kid ready for that transition from middle school to high school? You've had some success there recently, and I'm seeing it with Beaver is the reason I bring it up. And then Louisville's another team. Jax Leonard last year and the Paulus kid had a lot of success, and then they have some freshmen this year who I expect to do the same.
I mean, I have to be honest with you. I don't know. It's not me. It's not the coach. It's a lot of things. In order to be successful in our sport at the freshman level, statewide in Ohio, it's a collaborative effort. The kid has to have had to work, and there's so many opportunities for young wrestlers at the middle school level. You got OAC, you got tons of now Super 32 has that middle school option. There's a lot of middle school divisions. It's just getting kids to understand that in our sport, hard work will pay off. And I think they've got to ultimately do the work. So I think number one, they've got to get to you with a base, a couple of things that are present. Number one is a competitiveness, because when you go from a middle school room to a high school room, they're different worlds, just like a high school room and a college room are different worlds. So I think number one, you got to have a competitive spirit, and you got to be able to get something out of practice every day. Number two, you have to have a skill set. You have to have a base. You have to have the fundamentals, and then you need a little bit of luck. You need luck. There's some good freshmen, don't make it to Columbus, or even sophomores don't make it to Columbus. You got to have some luck too. You got to be healthy at the right time. We've had kids in the past couple of years, it didn't work out, and they got sick at the wrong time, or they got injured at the wrong time. So that's the best advice I could give someone. I think it's a collaborative effort between parents and coaches and kids, but it's pretty impressive to see how these young guys, and then if you can sustain it, I think that's another question mark. If you have success young, can you sustain that and continue to get better?
Sure.
Some kids get down there early and they don't get down there late.
Right.
So that's another piece of it, I think.
We were kind of talking about Beaver. They beat Fitch, and it's really just the tip of the iceberg. I know I was talking to a lot of Beaver people at the match, and they were talking about the group of middle school kids they have coming up. Obviously, a good freshman class, and obviously you have already a base with Cole and Leisure and Bo Smith.
How did Bo Smith look?
He looked really good, actually. He looked good. I think he's settled in nicely to a weight. I think he was aggressive. It seems like he's added some things to his arsenal. You know.
He's a kid we didn't talk about last week, but didn't have obviously the success maybe he wanted. But he's another kid that just adds tremendous depth, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the podium this year.
No, me either. So that was Beaver. The wrestler of the duel I actually gave to a Fitch kid. I gave it to Tyler Petrie, because the most competitive match I really saw was the heavyweights for both teams were really strong. Petrie's tough, the kid from Beaver's tough, and his name escapes me right now. But it was a 3-2 match. Petrie won, so I gave it to him. That's a match that I see along with Del Garbino and a couple other kids at our league.
That's a crime that you give the wrestler of the duel. You give it to one of the kids on the losing teams. Why? I like the heavyweight at Fitch.
Why?
How could you not give the wrestler of the duel to a guy from the team that won the duel?
My thing with the wrestler of the duel is, who do I think won the best match?
So they're not the wrestler of the duel.
That's how I define wrestler.
Okay, all right.
Did you come to the duel?
I did not.
Okay.
I've been to a few. I've been to a few duels in my day.
Well, not this duel.
Not this.
This is actually a try, so it wasn't even a duel.
Okay.
But
are you going to give it to guys on the other losing teams as well?
We'll find out.
Okay.
So the next duel we'll talk about was Fitch and Louisville. Actually, before that, because that was kind of a one down the wire, we'll talk about Beaver Local and Louisville. Beaver Local won again, and that was 33-23. And talk about Beaver a little bit, talk about Louisville. They're another team that's young and talented. I count 5 legit state-ranked kids on their team. Davin Rhodes is a freshman. Jax Leonard's a state placer, sophomore. Garrett Lotzenheiser, you talked about last week, is a freshman. Yep. Brent Polis is a sophomore. Carter Mickley is a sophomore. 5 legitimate state-ranked kids. And toss in the Jackie Beck kid at 13, who's a senior. He's also a legitimate threat to get down there. They have 6 kids that could get down to the state tournament. They're very young. They're very talented. And I see big things for them, obviously.
And I think we've talked a lot about Beaver. We've talked a lot about Louisville. We talked a lot about Fitch. I feel like we've got some good coverage there. I think you got to talk about the Fitch-Louisville match. And I think when we start thinking about this, when you branch out, if you go Thursday, because I don't think I could go. But
shocker.
Yeah, I know. Shocker, isn't it? I'm a retired guy.
Hack. What are you doing?
My daughter's having basketball tryouts.
Made. Come on.
I'm just
focus
saying.
on golf.
I know. But we could talk about West Branch and Alliance next week, maybe, because
Absolutely.
it seems like we have a love affair with West Branch love affair with Beaver Local, and a love here with Canfield, and a love here with Louisville and Fitch. Hey, let's start talking about, there's 25 teams in here. We got to make sure we cover that a little bit too.
Yeah. We got 2 guys. Both of us could get out to see some duels. So the wrestler of the week there, wrestler of the duel was Logan Krulik. We talked about him already. He beat Jax Leonard. Tough kid, nice kid. Check out our Twitter page if you want to see the interview with him at EOWL Spotlight. And then Fitch Louisville came down to the wire. It was a 30-30 tie. Criteria 8.
Crazy.
First points scored. I have some shots of John Bird and Rocky. What's his last name?
Laughlin.
Okay. Because I thought you said Ratliff 1 point, and then you said McLaughlin.
I think I've butchered it so many times, and it's not even a difficult name.
No.
It's not like Rich Eicheldinger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's a tough one to say.
So I have some still pictures of them at the head table. I might tweet out, just kind of intense.
I think the people want the content.
Yeah. So I went with Willie Beverly. He had a nice win over the Brent Paulus kid, the sophomore.
I bet you that was a good match.
It was a very good match. He won it right at the end. Overall, all 3 duels were good duels. A lot of good matches. Good things from those teams.
Beverly kid's tough too. I think we talked about a little bit.
He is.
I'm excited to see him.
And they got some young guys pushing him in the room. So.
Well, that wraps it up for results from last week. We appreciate all your support. Certainly, you've plugged several times the Twitter page, and we'll load up the YouTube channel.
Do you want to talk about what's coming this week, or you're cutting this short?
I think we have to cut it short. It's 11 minutes at this point.
People want to hear.
So
what's happening this week?
People shut this thing off 3 minutes ago.
Wednesday, Boardman, Lakeside, and Beaver Local are have a try.
Okay.
Thursday, West Branch and Alliance. I believe Liberty and Hubbard are wrestling this week, too. I think I got a message about that. So Liberty and Hubbard.
And if Simon was here, he could clarify that.
Right.
But he's...
And I'll check the date. Maybe that's one you could go to. Maybe you don't have made-up basketball tryouts.
Okay, maybe.
And then the weekend, Canfield Holiday Duels. Canfield's the only league team there. North Canton Holiday Tournament. Louisville's there. Hudson Tournament. Howland's there. D3 Classic at our new friend Waterloo. Brookfield, Columbiana, Jackson, Milton, Newberry, South Range, Wellsville are all there.
Okay.
I'm busy this weekend because I'm coaching. Maybe you could get out to that. Hopple Tournament, big one down there in Beaver Local with Alliance, Fitch, Beaver Local, Boardman, Poland, and Salem. So a lot of teams, and I'm sure many more wrestling this weekend. So good luck to everybody.
And I'd like to add, because if you're paying attention at the 12-minute mark, you're going to stay for 30 more seconds probably. I would say let us know your schedule. Tweet it out, email it to us. What's the email?
Is EOWLspotlight@gmail.com.
Okay. And we'll try to figure out what the name of this
we got
show
a lot of
is.
names.
We have a lot of names. Spotlights in coaches' offices. But, hey, we appreciate it, and we certainly appreciate the feedback. Next week, Don Mancini.
Special Hall of Fame guest. Too.
Oh, yeah. That's exciting. So be ready for that one. That'll be a special segment.
Thanks, guys. Good luck.
Yep, thank you.